Hi, everybody. Welcome to show number 891. We're live as usual from San Francisco's beautiful Marina District, the Beach Street Yacht Club. Schaefer is back in Annapolis after his delivery, I think, down to the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Greg Phillips from the Gold Coast of Australia. And many others. Alistair Murray checking in from Meetong, down there near Melbourne, Australia, where it is 0800 in the morning on Wednesday. Rick Bannero up in New England, Chile, Connecticut. Tracker, Ed Worley saying hi from up here in NorCal, I believe is where he normally is. Julia, the co-host, the Commodore of the Beach Street Yacht Club. I trust you're well.
Oh, yes.
Any hot tips?
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll see about that.
Yes.
I'm your host, Tom Eamon. Let's get this one going to the starting line. As I said, show number 891. Hotel Tango, Julia.
Uh-huh.
Happy Tuesday. Hotel Tango, HT.
Oh, okay.
And happy, it's no longer Movember, but now it's...
I don't know.
Do you have any idea?
No.
I don't either, but I'd never heard of this before. Clay Embley checking in. He probably knows. He's in the wheelhouse carrying cars and enjoying, on one of his ferries, enjoying Sailing Illustrated. Lance Burke, a.k.a. the foghorn. The Bay Bridge foghorn just stopped. Either the clouds have lifted or the bridge was hit. We hope not. That's the Bay Bridge between San Francisco and the East Bay, Oakland. Mm-hmm. It's nice here, sunny here in the marina.
But cool.
Lance, it is chilly. Chris Exley up in Salem, Mass, north of Boston. Larry, hello, Larry Collins. Olaf from the New York City, FiDi, hung out with the birdie fish this past weekend. Andy Cox is in cool, blustery Bermuda. Ted Ryman down in summery Cape Town in the Southern Hemisphere. Republic of South Africa. Jody Shields up in Adam, north of Sydney in Wanji, saying good morning to all of us. Back to the starting line. The Fozzie Focus. We have another Christmas greetings. They're starting to roll in, Julia, this time of year. This one from Alistair and Tracy. And I wonder if anybody can top what they sent in, because it's short and sweet and nice and cool.
Yeah.
Bravo Zulu to the Wingfoil World Cup champs. The season has wrapped down there in Brazil. We'll have that video. Coaching corner, John Emmert is hunkering down at home. He didn't go out for a walkabout because it's too cold and windy in Weymouth. Sail GP, there's a lot of Sail GP news, not only the silly season as the transfers are in full swing, but a superb article on Fast Company. You know that it was a magazine. It's I think mostly a website these days, but it's Silicon Valley based. It's about companies, about venture capital. Really cool article on Sail GP.
Oh, good.
So we'll cover that in some detail. Feature today, as you will have seen in the cover slides, on the Inclusion Championship, which is just wrapped up in Oman. Bravo Zulu all around. We'll bring you that and International Para Committee. Are you watching the success of our sport at that event? Also, Alistair Murray has an AAAA, his awesome Aussie anecdote about the Ronstan Youth Foiling Camp going on in Sydney, or went on this past weekend. And then some news I didn't focus in on until just the last couple of days. The Star Sailors League is alive and well. And it is an official event, sailing event, at next week's Southeast Asian Games, the SEA, Southeast Asian Games. They're using the SSL 48s for various countries like Vietnam and so on that are gathering there. And then they're also using it as a qualifier event for the SSL Big Championship, the Big Enchilada, a year from now in Brazil.
Yes. So
that's going on well. Steve Ross checking in. Good afternoon, Tom and Julia from down in sunny San Diego. John Emmett confirming that event in Oman, everything he's heard, everything that Magnus the Magnificent's heard, all fantastic stuff. Dolly DeVola has been sending me interesting stuff from what's going on in their increasingly summery Australian summer, of course. Did I need to say summery summer?
Yes, I guess you did.
There is Lopez, Senor Lopez from Portugal, from Porto in Portugal. Welcome to you, sir. It was a fantastic event. Too cold in Connecticut, Atkins says. Commodore Steve Atkins racing our last day of the season on Saturday. What, in the Etchells? What are you racing in, Steve? Peter Rechenberg from Geelong down in Australia. John Emmett, he is saying she is going to join the SSL, he hopes. And there is Kia Loa 547 with I don't know what he's, 47 asterisk. What do you suppose that means?
There's something special there.
Maybe. Okay, that's our lineup, our starting line for today's show. And Julia, of course, we have the fantastic Fozy. Oh, I've got one other thing in the last leg. I have a fabulous video, about a year old now, but I had not seen it, about New York Yacht Club's amazing Midtown Manhattan clubhouse. That video, because of course I'm headed there on Thursday.
Yes.
Actually on the Red Eye Wednesday night for the AGM, the annual general meeting, and the installation of the first ever female Commodore, Claire Harrington.
Yes.
Our super Fozy, Claire Harrington. So that'll be fun. No show, by the way. No show on Friday because I'll be traveling back. I got to turn around and come right back Friday afternoon because we have goings on here, Julia.
We do.
At the St. Francis Yacht Club. This day in history, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and of course, our fantastic Fozy. Alan Long says the J70 North Americans were this past weekend at DIYC. I assume that means Davis Island Yacht Club down in Tampa, Florida. It was won by a Cleveland boat. And, of course, Alan is partial to Cleveland, having grown up there, I think, spent a fair bit of time back and forth between Cleveland and Texas. Julia, the World Sailing Inclusion Championship, we'll get into that in a minute. Kudos all around. That's the theme of our show today. But first, a Fozy Focus. A Fozy Focus. It's the Christmas, the holiday season, and we've got holiday greetings from Alistair and Tracy down under.
Oh, good.
And anyone else that wants to send one in,
yes,
we'll feature it here at the top of the show in the Fozy Focus between now and maybe the 6th of January, the 12th day. 12th day of Christmas. Isn't that appropriate?
Right.
Here it is.
Merry Christmas from down under to Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Fozy.
From Alistair and Tracy. See you next year. Bye.
it's maybe the best greetings we've ever had, but the most ridiculous costumes, Julia.
Well, they're good at costumes.
They are. They're having fun every day, all day, every day.
They're supposed to.
And Gordon Smith checking in. Good evening from Denmark. Welcome all everyone to our wonderful lives on the water. And John Emmett, I can still do a CC. Yeah, we're working on John Emmett as well for a couple of upcoming shows. What are we celebrating today, Julia?
Oh, who knows? Let's find out. Oh.
We had Movember. Now, something I'd never heard of called Decembeard. Supporting bowel. This is a British and Australian thing, by the way, mostly. Okay. Supporting bowel cancer research through facial hair growth, spreading awareness, and fostering solidarity in the community. Now, Julia, you always criticize me if I don't shave, and I only shave on Tuesdays and Fridays just before the show. Can I have a December off, please?
Don't ask me, because you know what my answer will be.
Decembeard. Going along with the growing popularity of men growing facial hair, I guess that's the case, Movember was a trendsetter when it started to raise awareness about prostate cancer. A few years later, Decembeard, named for its cute little combination of, obviously, of December and beard, encouraged men to grow out their facial hair. Decembeard seems to have started in 2012 when Bowel Cancer UK founded it as an awareness event for men's cancer. Organizations like Bowel Cancer, why are we talking about bowel cancer on this show? Bowel Cancer Australia and Bowel Cancer UK have used the Decembeard campaign to raise funds for this important cause, encouraging individuals, schools, corporations, and more to hold events and activities all throughout the month. Gordon Smith says he looks like a cave dweller when he grows a beard. Clay Embley says, no beards.
Yeah.
Alistair being a Christmas legend. He is a Christmas legend with that nice coat, Steve
Yes.
Ross is saying. Excellent get up, Alistair and Tracy. Now we want to see him in a beard, since this is a bit of an Aussie thing as well as a British thing. A December beard. Have you ever heard of that, Julia?
No, I don't know that I ever needed to. But the message is great because ball cancer is easily solved these days.
Exactly. And you want to catch it early and often.
Right.
Or maybe not often. But
No, not often. Quick, while you're ahead.
no, you want to catch it. And, now they've got things other than colonoscopies to catch that sort of
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
And it's a whole different deal. We'll get Mr. Andrew McIrvin on here sometime soon to talk about ball cans. All of us sailors.
It is one of those things that's easily solved so that it ought to be known to our folks.
Commodore Adkins says, I love my beard, so does his bride, Rita. Lovely Rita, Mita May. You remember that song?
Indeed.
The Beatles.
Yep.
Da 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 da. David James, the growing popularity of facial hair is likely to the growers, not the victims. Indeed.
Yes.
Bravo Zulu. Let's get going here with some sailing news. Bravo Zulu, well done in praise of performance. And this is to this wingfoil event we've been covering down in Brazil. We have some champions for their World Cup Series 2025. And here's the video.
Jerry gave us another gloriously tropical day with consistent strong breeze. A perfect day for crowning champions. Full-on pressure from the start, with just one long-distance race for a golden ticket into the medal series. Julien Ratotti of France took the win to go through, and Brazil's Felicitas Ceballos took the women's. The first two in each round of the medal series progress. From the repechage, it was French rider Oscar Leclerc who crossed the line first. But real drama for second place. New Zealander Sean Herbert steaming in alongside Alessandro Tomasi at over 30 knots. But disaster struck the Aucklander, who fell foul of seaweed on his foil. Semi-final. 3 Italians and a Frenchman. Matis Guillot, who came to Brazil with the 2025 season title already sealed, wanted to win here in Jerry after losing last year. Francesco Capuzzo took the win, but Guillot did enough in second to make the final. Enter centre stage Kamil Manowiecki. The Pole has been the fastest rider all week, and as overall leader went into the final needing just a single victory to take the event title. It was a lightning start as they tried to chase down Manowiecki in around 18 knots of breeze. Bastien Escoffier had been on fire all week and was looking good for silver. Manowiecki maintained his blistering pace to take the victory and the Brazil title for the second year running. But what a battle for bronze. A photo finish for Guillot and Capuzzo, again side by side all the way to the line. The Frenchman just ahead.
I think I worked hard, probably even harder than last year. I know every year it's going to be harder to be in the same place. The level is increasing, more people know what to do, more people are coming into the game. So my first impression was that I worked hard, it paid off, and I destroyed the competition.
Magdalena Spanu arrived in Jerry unbeaten all season, and with the World Cup title already in her pocket. The Brazil title had always eluded her. The women's repechage saw Brazil's best-placed rider Paloma Gutierrez progress to the quarter-finals thanks to a great second-place finish. In the starting lineup for the quarter-final was French rider Oriane Serry, who won the repechage and has shown great form this week. But it was Germany's Jette Koop who took the win ahead of Serry. Waiting for them in the semi was Emilia Costi of Greece, who'd recovered from a difficult week with a damaged wing and made no mistake to go through to the final. Germany's Jette Koop also went through. Spanu dominated the fleet all week, and nothing changed in the final. The Sardinian started well, with Costi also in the hunt. 16-year-old Viner Pico, who's come of age this season with ever-improving results, pushed up into second place. But nobody could catch Spanu, who'd recovered from sickness to re-find her speed and form. It was gold in Brazil for the Sardinian.
For sure, I'm super stoked to be second time World Cup champion. It's a dream for me, so I'm super, super happy.
It's been 4 years that I've been crowned World Cup champion here. Always ending the season and knowing that I will be crowned world champion during these 4 years before even doing the last World Cup is something that I enjoy so much, because so much release from the pressure, of course, for the racing.
There are the final results, men and women top 10 for the season at the conclusion of the World Cup in Brazil, which wrapped up 3 days ago. Great event, apparently, and an Olympic event in our future.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's going to replace the kite for a whole lot of reasons that we've discussed on this show for any number of times, Julia.
Right.
Any number of reasons. Ed Worley says the seaweed stopped the boat, in quotes, the board. Yeah, we talked about that in the last show. They had seaweed problems, and they would have to jump. They'd have to leap to get the boat up in the air and get hopefully the seaweed off the foil.
Yeah.
So it's a question from Chris Exley. What's with that powerboat screaming along the start line? I believe it's a rabbit start, Chris. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but that powerboat is the boat that defines, in effect, the starting line, and all the boats must leave it to starboard. They must cross behind it. And that powerboat defines, in effect, the rabbit starting line. Speaking of rabbits, I'm not sure why I said that, Julia, but here's John Emmett with his coaching corner. Why is John Emmett a rabbit today? He is habitual in giving us a regular and good report, the coaching corner for this show. Super Fozy John Emmett, who's at home in Weymouth, windy and cold Weymouth in the UK.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. Welcome to John Emmett's Coaching Corner. I'm here in windy Weymouth, and that's the reason I'm shooting indoors, because it's very windy outside. I think it's probably Storm Bram. It's hard to keep track of this. It's been quite a frustrating time for me recently, because I've been basically coaching Monday to Friday, and then when it's my turn to go sailing, it always seems there's no wind or too much wind. In fact, I've got a sailing bag in the corner that has been packed for the past month for Castle Cove, and I haven't managed to use it yet. But that's the joys of sailing, weather-dependent sport, and that's why, we need to think about the media and races starting on time, exciting racing, good wind venues, reliable and fair, but also about making sure we have fair competitions. And at club level, often we need to cancel due to safety, because obviously the level of the sailors, the level of the officials, rescue boat, etc., is that little bit lower. So yeah, hopefully I'm not going to be shooting indoors for too much longer. It is nice to be outside, and I think Tom probably pointed out in a show ago, or one or two shows ago, there's a lot of benefits to being outside and having natural sunlight on your face. It's not just, vitamin D and mental health from being outside. There's lots of effects like your body clock and so on. So sailing, it's an ideal sport for being healthy. That's what I think. The other thing which I think is very important is communication. In fact, I've been sending quite a lot of audio messages recently, because I've been trying to encourage our good friend Danny from the Fozy. So Para News, I think things are very, very positive at the moment. We've already seen that injection of cash, and to a certain extent cash is king. Not that money buys you happiness, but certainly money can be a real barrier to a lot of things taking place. And yeah, I had quite a few friends taking part, and the nice thing is, and to do a Tom, one hears that the IPC looking from afar were impressed, and I really hope that's true, and I really think it should be true, but of course we will see. We can just control the controllables, but I think that's a really nice way to end 2025, and the big one for the youth sailing, because I always think inclusivity is about women's sailing, youth sailing, parasailing. That's the holy trinity. Is that Villamora is about to start. There's some really nice training camps out there. They've got cracking team, cracking venue, and of course we just keep our fingers crossed that the weather plays ball. For me, it's always been a very special event. You don't have to look back that far to see people who medal at the Youth Worlds, how they perform when they become senior. I think it's a good indicator, as opposed to junior sailing, which isn't such a good indicator. And yeah, I have a lot of fond memories. It feels a little bit like the Olympic Games, and that it's one sailor per nation. So you have that smaller fleet compared to World Championships, but all that pressure of being the sole representative. For coach, it's a very unique experience because you're not out there free to roam in a rib, you're all sort of put together. And as a team leader, I think it's probably a good way of identifying talent and who's going to perform well under pressure. Last year, I did the commentary with lovely Lily, which I found, don't tell anyone, but didn't seem like real work, because we was just sat here talking about sailing, which is what I do nearly every day. Originally, in fact, we were sat on a sofa. Later on, we went to high stalls. The Youth Worlds for the next couple of years is Vila Moura in Portugal, so they want young Portuguese people to present, which is fair enough. But I, like hopefully you, will be following from afar, because I just think it's one of those really, really special events. And on that note, we get towards the end of the year, and it's time to start thinking about those New Year's resolutions. And in the meantime, as long as it's safe to do so, sail fast, sail safe, keep having fun, and I'll do my very best to join you on the show live, because for me, that's always the best part.
He's not young. He's not young enough by world sailing standards to do the presentation, the commentary, the color at the World Youth Sailing Championship. What does that make us, Julia?
Ancient.
I don't get that at all. Get Jody and John and Lily, if she's available, to go do commentary. They're sailors. They know what they're talking about. They have friends all over the world who will listen just because of who they are.
Right.
It's a bit strange. Now, since we are, Julia, Health Illustrated, and we have been since the pandemic and before, but Mr. Dr. Andrew McIrvin turned us on, I think he did, on to vitamin D, right?
Right.
Didn't we, during the pandemic, all start taking vitamin D because of him? Or was that Dr. John Campbell, that nursing, the British nursing?
I think it was Campbell originally.
Did you see the news in the last few days about vitamin D, which I've been dutifully taking, 1,000 IU, right? 25 micrograms, 1,000 IU per serving. That's one of those pills every day, because that was, I don't know what they call it, the RDA, the recommended
daily
adult recommended, whatever it's called. But I see a bunch of news reports saying that that's way too little, and that they are saying they completely misjudged whatever statistics, whatever studies, the information they had from the various studies, and you're supposed to be taking a lot more than that. Now, I don't know if that's the vitamin D industry trying to talk people into taking more, but we better get Mr. Dr. Andrew McIrvin, either if he's on, commenting in the chat, or checking that out, because it sounds like you should be taking 5, 6, 7,000 IU.
I think it depends very much on how old you are.
Well, you take more as you get older, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see.
But how much more?
Well, who knows? That's why we got to get Mr. Dr. Andrew McIrvin on here. That is the coaching corner for today. John Emmett Sailing, get to the front of the fleet. John has been pushing us, and we've been pushing everybody else, and the Aussies have been leading the way to get Paralympic sailing back in the Paralympics for Brisbane 2032. I'm not as optimistic as John is, or as Magnus the Magnificent in his Rule 69 blog post today, that we're going to make it. But certainly Oman was a good step in the right direction. And we're going to talk some more about that.
But not bleak for the participation.
Well, it's better. I mean, Oman and the success of Oman and world sailing strategy now certainly is a step in the right direction. It's better than doing nothing.
Right.
Now, I didn't see the president there, the Chinese president of World Sailing. I didn't see him there. I would have been impressed if he were there. He should have been there to help make an impression on the IPC.
Right.
And I guess David Graham, the CEO, was there for a day or two or so. I checked this morning, but I never, normally if those honchos are there, you see pictures and they're standing. And so I don't know. Andrew Dolly DeVola saying lots of vitamin D if you go sailing in the sunshine. Well, you get a lot more of it down there in Australia than we do up here in the northern climes in the winter.
Yeah.
Gordon Smith saying, be careful with the vitamin D dosage measurement. There is more than one system. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Stephen Frederick is on here saying, inclusion, Oman. He's laughing his hiney off. Yeah, that is a bit of a contradiction in terms, but they did do a good job hosting that event by all accounts. Not much breeze. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute, shall we? But first, a lot of Sail GP news. And I told you at the top of the show about this article on the Fast Company website from 3 days ago headlined, Why Celebrities Are Investing in Sail GP. Is this a new era for sailing? Paul Mueller, who is a contributor to Fast Company and many other outdoorsy and sports type publications, a great writer and a bit of an expert on this. And there is one of the photos they used in the article, and of course that, Julie, you recognized on the right at least, that is the St. Francis Yacht Club. Right. Sadly, that event's not coming back here in the foreseeable future. It's not on the schedule for next year at least. There is the VIP, the Adrenaline Lounge, when the event was here early this year. But here is the article, and it's an impressive piece and very, very favorable. Some of the most favorable ink for any sporting event, any sailing event, not sporting event, but for any sailing event ever.
Wow.
To wit. And this is just a few paragraphs that I've excerpted from a much longer article. This summer, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman became co-owners of Australia's 3-time champion Sail GP team. Days earlier, Anne Hathaway joined a female-led consortium purchasing Italy's team for around, reportedly, $45 million. Kylian Mbappe has bought into France's squad, while Sebastian Vettel, the Formula One driver, Donate Wilder, and DeAndre Hopkins have each acquired stakes in other teams.
Wow.
So what's drawing A-list celebrities away from traditional sports properties like soccer, football, and toward a sailing league that's only been around 6 years? The answer lies in how Sail GP has cracked a code that eluded the sport for centuries. What Russell Coutts, the league CEO and co-founder, described as once being, quote, white triangles on a blue background racing far away from shore, unquote, now looks more like Formula One on the water. And the article, again, this is just a few of the paragraphs, the key paragraphs. In 2019, Coutts and Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison launched Sail GP with one deceptively simple innovation, a regular season. For decades, professional sailing meant wealthy enthusiasts funding expensive hobbies with no return. The America's Cup, sailing's premier event for 174 years, exemplified the broken model. Imagine if the Super Bowl happened once every 4 years with no regular season in between, no predictable schedule, no way for athletes to plan or build a career. That's been the America's Cup. Sponsors couldn't justify the investment. Broadcasters couldn't build programming around it. Teams couldn't make it profitable. Quote, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? Unquote, says Jimmy Spithill, CEO and co-owner of the Red Bull Italy Sail GP team. Quote, but whether you're an athlete, a sponsor, or a broadcaster, if it wasn't a regular season, how could you plan, Jimmy Fitt went on to say, quote unquote. Now, scaling Sail GP is the subhead. From 6 teams and 5 events in 2019, Sail GP now runs 12 teams across 12 events. The target, or so this gentleman asserts in the article, the target 20-plus events annually, matching Formula One's 24, or at least approaching it. Teams 13 and 14 are already sold for the 26 and 27 seasons, and the league projects over $200 million in annual revenue by season's end, which culminates this weekend, this article a few days ago, with the grand final in Abu Dhabi, where the top 3 teams will compete for a $2 million prize. Rolex, whom we celebrate often on this show, signed a 10-year title sponsorship, renaming the competition the Rolex Sail GP Championship.
Oh, good.
Quote, "It's by far the biggest partnership in sailing," unquote, Coots says. Amazon, Tommy Hilfiger, and T-Mobile have also joined as team sponsors. Events now generate an average of $26.2 million US in economic impact for host cities, quadruple the 6.8 mil from season 1, according to Sail GP. For context, Formula One races generate 200 to 400 million per event. One last little bit here. The celebrity investment impact is measurable. Market research firm YouGov tracks, quote, buzz scores, unquote, a measure of whether people are hearing positive or negative things about a brand. In Australia, Sail GP scores jumped from 22 to 26 in 2 weeks following the Reynolds and Jackman announcement when they bought into the Bonds Flying Rouge team.
Right.
France saw similar lifts after Mbappe's investment. For Reynolds, Sail GP represents another portfolio expansion. His maximum effort investments backs Wrexham, the football club, Club Necaxa, La Equidad, and Alpine F1. His Wrexham success, transforming an obscure Welsh soccer club through marketing genius and storytelling, offers a template as Sail GP looks to continue its growth, both in investment and global audience. Quote, "The fact that we can get that sort of celebrity involvement in one of the teams is amazing," unquote, Coots says, "and they'll have some fun with it too, which is what it's all about."
I think that's right.
And Julia, that's Paul Mueller writing in Fast Company, the high-tech venture capital website, magazine. It used to be, I think it's just a website now. I'm not sure if it is still in print. But it's a great publication, very popular publication in Silicon Valley with the VCs and with high tech. I don't remember anything in our sport getting that kind of ink from a publication like Fast Company. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
You or anyone in the chat. And I'm feeling like Sail GP is getting to, maybe has gone past the tipping point now where they're really going to take off in a big way, both in terms of investment, in terms of franchise value, in terms of eyeballs, the whole kit, as the Brits would say, kit and caboodle.
It would be easy to see it grow in terms of number of places done, but it's hard to see the fleet growing from 12 to 24. You wouldn't want that, I don't think.
Well, I can see the fleet, and Russell's talked about that. I can see the fleet growing because they're going to be 14, apparently, the end of maybe not next year, the year after. And maybe they're going to split the fleet into 2 heats, and then the winners out of each heat then meet in the semifinals. And I get that. I mean, leagues have all gone through that expansion process. What I have a hard time believing is that they'll be able to have more than a dozen or so events in a year. If you're one a month, that's a lot of events when you're trying to move the circus around.
Especially worldwide,
Especially worldwide. And John Emmett observing that they're trying to copy many aspects of F1. Yes, of course. And what else? And you wonder why ETNZ, et cetera, are looking to innovate the AC package. Well, Gordon, my point is that they're not going to innovate the AC package because the deed of gift prevents it. And it's and Rolex knows about sailing, John Emmett says, and replying to Baton Rouge, completely agree, and a different obstacle on each course, as in Sydney Harbor, would be ideal. Reynolds' investment in Wrexham has been a huge success and very popular in the town, Gordon Smith observes. Andrew Davola. We should call him Dolly because everybody in Australia knows
Right.
him as Dolly Davola, not as Andrew. Celebrities can only be banking on teams appreciating in value. Good point, Dolly. Excellent point, of course. Ed Worley saying the commercial success may rescue the America's Cup from going down this path and return the AC to its roots. I completely agree. Gordon also observing that he, Stingray, and Ted Ryman all called out Sail GP at the outset for the success that it is and has become, against a lot of derision, it has to be said. Yeah, I think that's fair. A fair comment from Gordon. David James, there is a great video on YouTube from DHL, I think, on the logistics of moving F1 around worldwide. It is an extraordinary effort, and you're, of course, right, David, and I, having been involved in F1 for a number of years back at the turn of the century and witnessed that, it is an unbelievable operation. But again, like Sail GP, when you do it year after year after, it's like this silly show. You know, after 9 years, we ought to be fairly good at it,
Right.
Because you can incrementally improve and expand your little operation or big operation. But I go back to what the comments of some of you on the America's Cup has lost the battle to Sail GP. Julia, they've lost the battle to Sail GP. They should go back and, as Ed Worley was saying, go back and focus on being the America's Cup, be exclusive. And Magnus, I think, even agrees with me,
Right.
as do others. Focus on being once every 4 years, a rarity like the Olympics, like FIFA World Cup soccer, once every 4 years, and have a big deal.
Which is representing the best of the best.
The best of the best, but also a design competition, which Sail GP is not.
That's correct.
And that is the big difference between the two. One is a design competition, and Sail GP is not. They're in, ideally, they're in identical boats. We're never quite sure how identical they are, Julia.
Yeah.
Okay. Make Sail GP races longer, Steve Ross says. Well, a lot of things they can do to tweak it. Well, when you're getting ink like this, and you're getting sponsors like Rolex doing apparently a 10-year deal, and you're getting celebs like Hugh Jackman and others jumping in. Okay, good stuff.
Yes.
Now, let's get to some news from Sail GP, because it's the silly season, as I said at the top of the show, and this is a headline from an article today or yesterday on the Sail GP website. Star swaps, meaning star sailors, not star boats, star swaps and shock exits, okay? It's a little bit of a, okay, they're trying to get eyeballs, clickbait, as you might say. Sail GP's transfer frenzy charted. And they ran this article about Sail GP's transfer frenzy as Sail GP's transfer season kicks off, which again is a big sport. We see it in other sports. People after their contract is up and they're into they no longer are contracted to a team and they're a free agent, they can go out and do a deal with other teams. And of course, that's what Sail GP is now setting up, because as this transfer season kicks off, there have been a flurry of high-profile moves that could reshape the championship before a single F50 hits the start line. Okay, that's maybe a bit of an overstatement, but think NBA-style star swaps, NFL-level roster power plays, well, okay, and the kind of shock signings that get the whole league talking. Yeah, okay, well, that's going on in the NBA right now, Julia, and
right.
You think about the Warriors. The Golden State Warriors based here in San Francisco. From bold rebuilds to headline-stealing sign-ons. Okay, this sounds like it was written by Magnus the Magnificent. No, it's not. This is for Sail GP, not for the America's Cup. This is the most dramatic reshuffle Sail GP has seen, and it sets the stage for a fierce new season of rivalries, ambition, and pure competitive fire. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get in, we're going to talk about who's gone where and why, but before we get into that, let's celebrate once again the Emirates GBR terrific season that they've had and winning the championship in Abu Dhabi in a nice video that they just put out yesterday.
Just unbelievable, to be honest. Like, it's been an incredible season. Capping it off today, winning the season points, winning the Impact League, winning the grand final. Probably in our typical fashion, tough start to the weekend. Weren't first in Mark 1, but we kept chipping away and we dug deep and came away when it counted.
Yeah, the final race was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had plans for all eventualities, so, if we were winning, if we were second, third, and yeah, we managed to execute exactly what we wanted to do from where we were. Stay in the race, take the opportunities, and yeah, it came good at the end with the right gate at the top win mark, and honestly, just like the best feeling ever.
Awesome. Team behind team's unbelievable. Like, it feels like we've not just delivered on the water this year, but we've delivered in the Impact League. Everyone has delivered in that area. They've both been unbelievable reliably, and just really proud of what we've delivered. So looking forward to 2026 and what lies ahead.
Yeah, I've got some news on that. I'm not going to present it here, but in due course, I'll have a one here is about Ben's financial situation and how that $2 million really helped him get out of hock with respect to this team, which is great news.
Yes.
As we were saying, it's good for him and good for the sport, good for everybody. And GBR winning was well-deserved. Ed Worley agrees. Steve Ross, Team USA needs a major rebuild, and I can say nothing more than I think everyone on here agrees, Steve, and stand by.
Oh, good.
There's going to be news on that front, too. Okay, as to transfers, Julia.
Yes?
In 2021, it was the 2020 Olympics, of course, delayed a year, the Tokyo Olympics, Dylan Fletcher and Stewie Bithell won the 49er gold for GBR. And they're back together.
Good.
Stuart Bithell has transferred to Emirates GBR. And you'll say, well, what happened to some of the other people or who's gone? But Olympic gold medal winning duo to reunite on board Emirates GBR Sail GP team for 2026. Stuart Bithell transfers to Emirates GBR from the Germany Sail GP team. Bithell's arrival reunites him with Dylan Fletcher, with whom he won Olympic gold at the Tokyo Games. Bithell brings a wealth of experience, including having competed in 4 Sail GP seasons.
Amazing.
And he is replacing Ian Jensen, Goobs, and we talked a lot about on this show, especially over the last few weeks, as Ian has transferred to Australia's Bonds Flying Ruse Sail GP team. We'll get to that in a second, but first, here's a nice video about Stu Bithell.
Take 2. Hi, I'm Stu Bithell. I'm the wing trimmer on Emirates GBR. Yes, obviously super excited to be putting the Union Jack back on. It's been a few years, but yeah, really looking forward to it, let's say a good season ahead. Super excited to be joining Dylan again and the rest of the team. I think obviously me and Dylan got a great history together, winning gold medal, and not sailed together since then. So yeah, super excited for that and looking forward to getting stuck in and hopefully do some more winning. I feel like I've always looked up to Goobs as like a bit of a role model. When I came out of the 470 and into the 49er, Goobs was like the gold medal winning crew. And yeah, for sure there's a little bit inside me that feels there's a bit of pressure to fill his boots, but I'll give him my best shot. You know, I'm also experienced and pretty competitive. So yeah, we'll give it a go and see how we get on. Aspirations, just keep winning. I think, but you know, I think this team is clearly a high performing team, and there's no clearer goal of keeping it that way. So yeah, I mean, interesting. I've not sat down in a meeting with all the sailors yet, but I would imagine that it is to be in as many finals and win as many finals. That I can't imagine it's going to be much different to that.
Nice video.
They all look more sunburned than usual. I don't know why.
End of the season, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alistair Murray faster without Ben on the boat. Well, you will recall some of us were saying Ben ought to have gotten off the America's Cup boat, but that was not going to happen. Now that he's gotten off the Sail GP team, off their boat, Emirates GBR, and they've won with Dylan on the wheel. I don't think you're going to see Ben back on a boat, even though he said, well, you never know. In the next cup, I might get back on the boat. Don't do it, Ben. Run the team. Dennis learned it. Paul Cahard learned it. Others have learned it. It's too much to be the CEO, to be whatever the hell else you got going on, dealing with sponsors, raising money, doing media, yada, yada, yada. Ryman says, I'm so happy GBR won. I would like to see the USA team do well next. Well, stand by, everybody. I think you're going to see an improvement in the USA team's prospects. In the meantime, what about Goobs? Where did Ian Jensen go? Well, you would have thought maybe that he'd go to Artemis because, of course, Nate Outeridge, his Olympic partner and with whom he won gold in the 49er in 2012, Nate, is, of course, now driving the new team, the Swedish team, Artemis. But he's not. And there's a nice send-off video that the team did. This is actually a send-off video. They must have recorded it a little earlier and then tacked on this, Julia, this initial part. But it's a little bit longer than we normally play on here, 6 minutes or so, about Ian Jensen. Some of the struggles he and his wife have been through, not as between themselves, but some health issues they both had. And a fabulous video, courtesy of the team that he's leaving, Emirates GBR.
Bit of a bittersweet moment because I really am looking forward to sailing for Australia again, but I'm going to miss this team so much. I joined up early on in the Auckland campaign. I'd finished the America's Cup in Bermuda with the Artemis team and they'd discontinued. The time's really flown by. Been a good 7 or 8 years, and obviously had the ups and downs through the whole process, but been a family, I guess. A lot of the guys consider really close friends and continue that friendship after I leave as well, I guess. Yeah, so I guess in the Auckland campaign in 2020, so 1 year out from the America's Cup, while COVID was going on actually, I started to cough up a little bit of dark fluid, and I didn't really put two and two together as I just thought it'll settle. And then I started to notice that I was getting a little bit worse at running. And so then that's when I contacted Ben Williams, who was doing the strength and conditioning at the time. And he sort of thought, oh, you've been on a plane a lot recently, so let's get you in to do an x-ray because you've probably got a blood clot. We need to get you on some thinners. But when I went in for the x-ray, there was basically metastasis through my lungs and a tumour in the middle of my chest. That was sort of a earth-shattering moment.
Once the team delved into what was actually wrong, I got the call from Ian, and he was frank, and he was quite matter of fact about it. He basically told me not to worry, but wanted, if this was the way he was going to go out, he wanted to be back with his family and friends, and he was going to do whatever he could to do that, to see his parents, to see his friends, and cherish this time.
One thing that stands out from that time is how much your perception and your goals change based on your situation. I've gone from everything being about the cup and striving to be successful there to, in a matter of weeks, just thinking, oh shit, need to make sure I survive this. And then once started treatment, I was like, oh, I hope I can just get fit enough to do some social sailing again. And then as the treatment was getting more successful, I was like, oh, maybe I could sail a moth again. And then after surgery, when I was training in the gym down in New Zealand, I was like, oh, maybe I could get fit enough to sail on the F50 again. It's really cool because that little period after you've been sick, your situation is just getting better and better and better. I remember the phone call with Ben actually. It was back in Australia and it was just after the cup had finished. And he was asking, how's the health? How's the fitness? Are you going okay? And I was like, yeah, no, everything's going good here, just doing a bit of monitoring. He said, well, if your health's going well and you feel up to it, I'd have you on the boat. And I was stoked. I was just absolutely stoked to get the opportunity to sail the F50 again. Yeah, to win the first event back was amazing. Because we'd only done one event before that, and that was in Sydney, just before the season got cancelled for COVID. to go through all the personal stuff that I'd gone through and then come back and still manage to win that next event with the team was amazing. I guess lightning can strike twice, which is a bit of a shocker.
I was pregnant at the time, and I was in Australia still after visiting family for Christmas and due to fly back to Barcelona. And when we found the news, he just jumped on the plane and came back for the appointment straight away. And I don't know what I would have done without him there, to be honest. And I'm forever grateful that he was there through all of it.
When she got diagnosed, she was pregnant as well, which made it a little bit complicated. So, well, very complicated. But that was at the start of 2024. Again, went to Ben and was like, "I'm really sorry, mate, but we've got another shocker of a situation on our hands." The amount of support that the team and he has given me over those two absolute shockers has been incredible. I talked to the same specialist out in Australia, and he actually put us on to a breast cancer specialist, and yeah, she's doing great now. And we've got a beautiful little 18-month girl that we're stoked to have. So everything's turned out great in the end. Now we just both do a little bit of monitoring every now and then, but yeah. I can only speak for the situation that me and Claire have been in, but I think for both of us, when you first get the news, it's really easy to get yourself in a dark hole. But I guess the important thing is to harness all that negative energy and worry and turn it into proactiveness and really just go out and try to find the best doctors, do all the right things with your diet. And once you start making positive changes in your life, it changes your attitude on the situation as well, which I think is an important step. Message to the teammates, I guess it's probably just almost a thank you for all the great experiences and good times. Well, good times and also the rocky ones, but been through quite a lot together. And I guess if I was to say one thing, I hope it doesn't end there. Even though we're not doing this Sail GP together, doesn't mean that there won't be more experiences further down the track, and hopefully we get on the same boat again at some point.
Now that the dust has settled after Abu Dhabi, I just wanted to take a moment to give a short message to say thank you for such a great season. Looking back, it's so special, and I'll always remember it and be proud of it. And yeah, thanks for being great teammates, and I'll see you on the water next year and on shore as friends, I'm sure.
Bye.
Great sailor. Great video, great family, cute baby. Bravo, Zulu, Ryman is saying. Ted, absolutely. I want to read Alistair Murray's comment in toto. Really nice video, very human. Goobs is a great sailor, but more importantly, a magnificent person. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him and Nathan Outeridge, when they were recently inducted into the Australian Sailing Hall of Fame. And he didn't let the cat out of the bag then, this was 3 weeks ago, about his switch back to the Flying Roos, to the Australian team. Mm-hmm. Good luck to him and his family. Bravo, Zulu, to Team GBR as well. Yeah, it was an amazing video and a great story. And I'm going to put the final little bit over that video. That was, again, done by Athena Racing as a nice send-off for Ian, for Goobs. Go well, Goobs. Ian Jensen departs Emirates GBR. What a classy send-off. Mm-hmm. What a classy family.
Yep.
What a classy organization. I mean, this is, it's probably not a Russellism, but this is, Russell's a bit of a Boy Scout. I have been to war with him a couple of times and watched him in action. And Russell's a class act, and I think you're starting to see some of his classiness filter down into all of Sail GP, Julia.
I was just thinking
and he didn't even go to Stanford.
I was thinking how wonderful it is to get to know the sailors better.
Exactly.
And it's wonderful to be able to do that.
Which you can do with a league that's now been repeated 5 years in a row and is going to repeat again next year. And now we've got a professional sailing league, thanks to Larry and to Russell and Larry's money. I mean, Larry's pumped, let's face it, he's pumped north of $1 billion. I mean, I can do an easy back of the envelope and show you all what he did even before Sail GP. And of course, he's got plenty of billions to pump into things. But what a magnificent...
How nice that some of it's come to sailing, though.
Well, exactly. We need more Larrys, not fewer. There's Commodore Otorowski, Chris Otorowski, who I'm going to have dinner with on Thursday night.
Are you?
Yes, the Otorowskis are going to be there. Chris and
hug.
Sean, I shall. And then we're going to have breakfast on Friday morning as well, I understand, or so one hears, Chris. Nice to have you on. Ed Worley, the real stories of our sport, real stories about our sport should be the human aspect, not just technology.
Absolutely.
And Clayton Embley, you have to get to know the sailors. The players make the sport. Alan Long agreeing with you, Julia. What a great point. Not this, Larry, unfortunately. I did set the course. The bimbo.
Yeah.
We always need more Larrys. Yes, well, we need Larrys, whether you're the bimbo Larry or the billionaire Larry. Chris Otorowski, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Commodore. Chris, the past Commodore of the Seattle Yacht Club and former Commodore President, I can't remember the title, of the Cruising Club of America. In fact, Julia, right outside the door behind you on the hall is the 100th anniversary of the CCA, the Burgee that Chris sent me. It's hanging out there as the entrance to Studio B, thanks to Commodore Otorowski.
Oh, good.
The video of Claire and Goobs puts a lump in my throat, Jody Shields says. Indeed. Great stuff. So then he's going to the Aussie, so what's going on there? Well, you can see this lineup has just been put out by Tom Slingsby and his team, the Bonds Flying Ruse. You see Ian Jensen there, second from the left, alongside another veteran, Kinley Fowler. This is Jason Waterhouse, Sam Newton, Tom Needham, all mates of Tom's, of course, of Tom Slingsby, to say nothing of Tash Bryant. And they're going to be stronger than ever next year, is in my never so humble opinion, but they're going to be good. And I think Tom, I'm not 100% sure, maybe somebody will know in the chat, but I believe Tom flew directly from Abu Dhabi to Perth and then did media work on behalf of the first event in the next season, which is the middle of January.
Right.
Went there to promo the Fremantle, the Perth event coming up, and I've got a couple of videos from that. Have a look.
Just touched down in Western Australia and I've spent the morning on Rottnest Island. An unbelievable trip already. Spent the morning riding bikes. We went out and visited some quokkas. Very cool. I got a little selfie with them. And then we headed up to the lighthouse and checked out the views and then went to the beach and just finished off with an ice cream down on the main street. Just a beautiful way to spend my morning.
Okay, so that is the first of the couple videos, Julia. And did you see those little furry animals?
Yes.
Quokkas? They're only there on that island, on Rottnest Island.
I was going to say, I don't know those.
Rottnest Island is, I don't know how many miles. We used to go out there on our ribs on the team boats and go out and have a picnic because it's nice and it's beachy and so on. Gets you away from the flies of Perth and Freehold and the heat because it's hot there in the summer.
Yeah.
That's the sea breeze comes in. It's called the Fremantle Doctorate.
Right.
And it comes away. It comes midday and it blows away the flies and the heat.
As it should.
Rottnest Island, and Alistair and I were talking the other day, the body of water between the coast and Rottnest Island is called Gage, G-A-G-E, Rhodes, not R-H-O-D-S, R-H-O-D-E-S, but R-O-A-D-S. Australian spelling for the Greek word Rhodes, I think. Rottnest and the quokkas are brilliant. Alistair says, now, for all of you in the chat, and Julia, for extra credit,
yes,
What was the name of John Bertrand, Aussie John Bertrand's sports company that he started here in Silicon Valley, here in San Francisco, actually, back at the turn of the century, I guess. What was the name of JB's company?
Oh, I don't
Speaking
know.
of Rottnest Island.
I don't think I ever really knew that.
Does anybody know? Now I can hear the people Googling. David James is Googling like crazy to get the name of that company.
He's the fastest.
He's the fastest Googler. Dawn Riley knew it. Alistair Murray got it right. I think Dawn gets the applause first. Well done, Dawn. Quokka Sports.
Oh.
That was the name of his company. Okay, now here's the next video of Tom Slingsby doing a little bit of media work when he was there in Perth.
Sailing is not what you think it was. If you've seen the sport now, it's completely changed, and it's adrenaline, it's action-packed, it's an extreme sport now. And when you put it on a racetrack here, it's just going to be so exciting for the fans. And anyone who's come and seen it up close before, they always come back and watch again. So, yeah, I'm just excited that we can show this part of Australia. We've had some events in Sydney, and the support we get around the Sydney event is huge. And now we get to bring it over here to Perth and Fremantle.
So my point is, really in running this segment, is not to talk so much about the transfers. You all can read about that anywhere, but to talk about how SailGP, apropos my point that maybe it's getting to or beyond the tipping point of where it's really going to take off. Look, the season's been over by a week and a half or whatever it is, and look at all the ink they're getting.
Yes.
Okay, Fast Company was a lead-up article to Abu Dhabi, but now you got all this transfer news, all this transfer ink. I assume Russell sent Tom, said, hey, I'll pay you a few bucks and, you divert your ticket and go to Perth.
Yeah.
And go do some media work and start to promote this event that's only in a month's time.
Yes.
The first event of 2026.
That's incredible.
So good on you, Tom. What a great ambassador to meeting Tom Slingsby. Totally agree, Alistair. Lance Burke here in St. Francis. Remember, I went to the auction when Quokka went under. Shame, really. It had some awesome events, including the Volvo. Yeah, these are all mainstream news mics in front of. Yeah, good point, Chris, actually. If you look at those news mics, you got Channel 9, Channel 7, you got the Foxnet and Channel 10. They're all the big news networks in Australia covering Tom. And he is a great ambassador for SailGP. Now, what about Artemis?